Hi, my name is Christopher Tebow.
And I'm Brendan Lee, and we're the developers of smartNote for iPad.
Over the past couple of months, we've taken the time to significantly improve the functionality of smartNote.
In fact, with taking feedback from everyone that's been using it for the past few years, we decided to completely rewrite the application to work better on more modern iPads and to add in features that everyone's been wanting but we haven't been able to.
All right, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to quickly demo both the paid and the free version of our application. So I'm just going to jump right in. When you're going to see the home screen, it's going to look very similar to the way it used to look.
In fact, we tried to make the application work and feel as much as we could like the one before, but we did add enhancements. Chris, you want to show one of the enhancements that everyone's been asking for?
Yes. The number one is grid view.
You can now see all of your documents in a nice grid, PDFs, audio, and notebooks.
So that means not just the Smart Notebooks show up, but also your PDFs and your audio files and your note packages will show up right here in this grid view. We know a lot of y'all have been asking for that, so here we go.
There's also a few more newer things on the home screen. In fact, before, whenever you wanted to export a PDF, you had to open the notebook. Whenever you wanted to delete things or change settings, a lot of people didn't quite understand how to find things. And so we've reorganized the way that SmartNote works. If you notice, it's easier to see back here, there is no I button anymore like there was before. We've actually gone through something a little bit easier. And so what we've done is if you press and hold on any item, it tells you everything you can do with it. You can export a PDF right here. You can archive it so you can send it to other people. You can duplicate the notebook, or you can delete it right here. And in fact, on PDFs, such as this one, you get other options. You can open the PDF with another application on your iPad, or instantly create a new notebook from PDF. In addition, up here in the plus menu, we've added a couple of features and we've modified some. Before, we had a new notebook setup screen. Well, we decided to revamp that in favor of we can do it faster. And so, new notebook, all it does is ask you for a name, so I'm just going to name it New Notebook. And then I hit Create, and that's all it takes to make a new notebook. It doesn't take several minutes anymore. It starts out with a set of defaults that you see below, but you can go right into here, and hit Notebook Settings, and you can see all the things that were previously on the back of the notebook.
You can jump in and you can change your cover images just like you could before. So I'm going to pick this flower here. You can change your default paper type from the included paper types and, of course, the downloadable paper types. And as you can see, I'm not going to click it. Downloadable content is available right here from this screen, so you don't have to get back out. I'm going to change this to engineering paper. And all of the other options you see are, of course, still available.
So first, let's start with how we redid the widgets. SmartNote's always been the leader in having widgets and having unique abilities. And we've kept that in this release. So I'm going to start with inserting a graph widget. Every widget that you found before will be here now. So here's a large graph, but you'll notice it doesn't work how it did before. We've got drag handles everywhere, so you can actually resize widgets now, which you couldn't before. You can drag widgets, you can even pinch to zoom widgets. So right here, whenever I've got it where I want it, I can double tap to place it. Now, another thing is people always were frustrated because you couldn't re-edit widgets once they were done. So now if I double tap on a widget, I get my drag handles back and I can move it. I can zoom it, and I can tap it for some other options, where I can duplicate it or delete it. And some widgets have some more options. So I'm just going to duplicate this one, and they've got a second one now. And so I can put these right here and go on with my day.
The next thing you're going to notice is that the page tools used to be nested inside of the widgets menu. They've now been pulled out into the share menu here, where you can see I can change the page background or set the page as the notebook cover, or set up the palm ignore area. Now we've moved these to more convenient locations because we knew that a lot of y'all use these very frequently. And one of the big changes we've done is updated the palm ignore area to simply cover the bottom portion of the screen. So there's no more dragging the square and setting it to the side, so you can just pull it up and down to whatever size you want and then simply lock it in place and your palm ignoring is good to go.
But we know a lot of people like the way we had it before, so you can also turn it back to the old way. I can press the button. So, there I have it. I can now move this around freeform, just like I did before. And we know a lot of people are going to like this, but you don't have to draw the size like you did before. We'll actually just keep the entire thing, and whatever's left over will just go off the screen. And people seem to really like this.
And of course, you can close it, or if you click the freeform edit button again, it will snap back to the sides. All right. Well, I've accidentally got a little bit of drawing in here, so you can see that our drawing is very similar. One thing you're going to notice that has changed is that the drawing is always auto smoothed now.
Also, we have full support for Retina displays. Our included papers look great on Retina display, and our drawing is Retina display ready. All of our drawing is crystal clear. There's also one big change that you've noticed. Whenever we were showing the pages a moment ago, you may have noticed some of the things like Insert PDF and Insert Pages and some of the other features were missing after we took out the Page Tools menu. Well, we're ready to introduce one of the great features that everyone has been asking for, and that is a better page list menu. Now, I only have one page here, so it's going to be hard to see. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to create a couple of more pages. And if you notice, our page load times are actually much faster than they were before. We're very happy to have this. So now that I've got 3 pages, I'm going to go back into the page list menu. So I want to insert something. So I can hold down on one and I get some options. I can delete the page, I can insert a new page, I can insert a PDF, or I can copy the page so I can paste it. I'm just going to insert a new page. And you see it right here. I haven't visited yet, so it's still a white thumbnail. I can rearrange pages simply by pressing and dragging, and it makes it really easy to actually manage your pages, especially compared to what we've had before.
All right. So, of course, from this menu, you can also do all of the advanced PDF manipulation that you would have seen before using the Insert PDF menu here.
In fact, there's something new in here that we took inspiration from one of our other applications that we've written, and that's that when you insert a PDF, since all of your pages are separate, you can rearrange PDFs and delete pages out of them, which is something that almost no other application allows you to do, especially note-taking ones.
In fact, I'm going to go out of here and I'm going to create a PDF I'm going to create a notebook from a PDF. So, new notebook from PDF. And you're going to see it's going to go ahead and have created that. And we're going to look in here, and you're going to see just a huge number of pages. This was from a Intro to Machine Analysis class. So lots of these pages are just photos that have been inserted for my note-taking ability onto from a whiteboard. And I can come in here, and so all of these are pages that I can move around. So if that is more relevant to page 2, I can just move it right up there without any problems. So you can see some crazy photos of your software developers, and I'm going to jump back out and go back to that demo notebook. Open up new notebook here, and we're right back in. I'm going to jump back to that page where we'd inserted some stuff.
Okay. So before we go on introducing some more of the newer features, there's something that a lot of people have been asking for, and we are really happy to announce today. We've heard back from a lot of people who have been using styluses with smartNote. And the iPad is great at a lot of things, but styluses aren't one of them. You have problems with your hand touching the screen, you have problems with moving the gesture recognizers around that allow you to zoom and pan, and all kinds of other things. And so we're really pleased to announce that we've integrated a new Pogo Connect stylus from 10.1 Design to work with the iPad. It's a Bluetooth stylus that allows us to know when you're touching the screen so that we can ignore your hand and ignore actual touches. And so I'm going to show you now how to use a Pogo Connect stylus with it. So right here is a Pogo Connect stylus. You can see it's got a rubber tip, it takes a battery, and it's available from 10.1 Design. So first, I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell it I want to connect the pin. And we got to turn on Bluetooth first, so let's go over to Bluetooth. So now we have Bluetooth turning on, so we're going to go back into smartNote. And right here we have this waiting, so I'm going to turn on the pin, and it lights up, and it detected it. And smartNote, if it finds it, will automatically ask me. And yes, I want to use this pin. So right here it's connecting. Now it's connected. Right here, I can go back to using smartNote the way I had before, except that it will completely ignore my finger. You can see here. We do recommend that if you're going to use this, that you turn off the iPad regular multitasking gestures that allow you to do things like swipe between apps or go back to the home screen, because those still will kick in. But, as you can see, the pin is the only thing that draws. not my finger. And in fact, we have several other options available inside of smartNote for Pogo Connect users. Speaking with some Pogo Connect users, we've come up with some things that people seem to like for the side button. Most apps use it for undo, which is the default. Right here you can see we undo. But we also allow you to disable and enable zoom gestures. That way when you're using it, you can tap it to lock it so it doesn't move underneath you, and you can tap it again to go back to where you can zoom and move around. We also have it where you can toggle the eraser, you can open the pen color menu, you can go to the next page, you can go to the previous page, you can open the pen types menu, you can replace the timestamp on the page, and you can open the side page list menu that we showed you before. Right now it's on undo. You can, of course, turn off the Pogo Connect button if you find that you touch it a little bit too easy like I do. So, I'm going to go back into our new notebook here, and you can see the Pogo Connect continues. It keeps knowing that I was still there, so you can switch in between notebooks without having to reconnect your pen. So I'm going to put this away for now, but before I do, I wanted to show you one neat thing. So right here, I have my pen colors list, and I can pick a pen color. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and make a green one, and I can adjust the color of the green, and you can see that the light on the pen changes. And so as I'm changing my color, you can see that the pen changes color too. It doesn't stay there the entire time so that your battery doesn't die, but it does let you see an interesting thing of what your color is actually going to look like when it's mixed. And so we can go right back and draw.
All right, so I'm just going to run through a couple of features that have not changed too drastically, but just to kind of remind you that they're there. The first one is, of course, bookmarks. You can bookmark your page. So this is our testing page, and it'll be saved in bookmarks, and that has worked just like you always say it is from anywhere inside of this notebook. That is now available.
In fact, we had some problems with bookmarks before in the older versions of the application because of how smartNote lets you rearrange pages, delete them, and move them between. But we've redone bookmarks, and like I said, we've completely rewritten the app, and so it's more reliable than ever, and your bookmarks are going to stay in sync. We also still have support for the auto bookmarking option that as you turn pages, it will automatically find the first text on the page and will put it as the title of your bookmark. It'll also expand the bookmarks window so you can see what's on each page. This is available in settings, but it's not turned on by default.
All right, I'm going to jump right on into the next one. Of course, there is audio recording. The biggest change to audio recording that you're going to notice is it now jumps between notebooks. So if I start an audio recording and I go from my Intro to Machine Analysis to my Calculus notebook in between classes and I leave my recording running, it'll just keep running. In addition to this, we've also changed the audio format to AAC, so that your file sizes will be significantly lower and you can greatly extend the amount of time you can record on your iPad.
In addition, AAC is a standard format, so it's easily playable by iTunes and most other music programs, which the previous version, which was supported by older iPads, did not.
All right, so I'm just going to give you a quick look. You can see that we now have recent widgets, downloadable widgets. The widgets menu is still very much the same, so you're going to see that I have downloadable widgets here, which this is the only widget I have downloaded. In just a second, I'll show you the content store. So we have added widgets to the content store, so we look forward to seeing what all of y'all submit and enjoying some of these fancy new widgets that we're going to be getting in our system. The text interactive here is these are some of the new features that you're going to see, and I'm going to let Brendan over here demo these ones up here at the top. But I'm actually going to show you some of the existing ones that you're used to and how they've changed. So first off, I'm going to start with a full page text area. Now, we know that everybody, this is from feedback, this is one of the favorite features is I can jump from drawing right to typing. I, of course, need to disconnect the Pogo Connect so I can go back to,
Turn off Connect automatically, and then we go turn off this pen.
Yeah, that way I can draw with my finger again. All right, hold on just one second here. We're having a small technical difficulty. There we go. So it's simply a matter of turning the pen off, and that should be a pretty simple thing to address really quickly. Now then, so what you see here is the obvious lack of the buttons that you're used to for modifying the text field. So now anywhere on this page, in fact, I'm going to come right down here to this right-hand corner. I'm just going to double tap, press and hold, and you'll see that I'm immediately into my text field and can start working. So now I can type to my heart's content, and there won't be any problems with this. So at the same time, I'm going to get out a text area with a border. That way we can kind of see this works like a widget. You can rearrange it here.
Chris,
in fact, let me jump to another screen.
Before we go into this, let's go to another page. That way we can actually see some of the text fields. And as you can see, he did change the page type. So now we're on engineering paper.
My favorite type of paper. I'm going to do one with fill so you can kind of see where it is. So I'm going to grab this. I can, of course, hit the undo button, just as always, to undo that small mistake. And I can touch and hold, and I can simply start editing. So no more trying to click the edit button or anything of that nature. And in fact, I can also double tap it and then tap it once, and I will be able to access the text settings for this particular text field, and I'll be able to duplicate and delete the widget just like the other widgets in the system.
In addition, you can also resize it like before, and while you're actually editing the text, I can select all, and I have my other text settings widgets here. So I can edit the text right here. And so I can change this, I can manipulate my colors, and my size, and I can change fonts. And I see all the fonts available on the iPad. And I really like Avenir, so we're going to go with Avenir and make it a little bit bigger. And so you can see, this is once you've realized where the buttons have gone, it's much more powerful and much better to use just because you've got more writing space. You don't have buttons in your way.
And I'll show you kind of how I've seen to use this system, and that is I will generally insert a full page text area, and then I can be in here, let me go ahead and get out a black pen, and I could be working on a drawing or a graph of some sort, some charts, and then if I need to take notes, I'm just going to simply touch and hold, and I can start taking my notes anywhere right here on the page. And then all I do is hit done, and I'm right back into drawing and working on my diagrams, and then touch and hold, and I'm back to typing. And you can see that this workflow now allows you to move back and forth between drawing and typing nearly seamlessly and extremely quickly. All right, so I'm going to jump to the next page, and I'm going to let Brendan quickly run through some of the new widgets.
So now I'm going to show you the new dynamic widgets that we've added into SmartNote. We've had a lot of feedback from people in classes that weren't math or drawing based, people like in geography or even in some of those subjects that wanted to have videos, maps, other things. So we added some of these features in. So for example, the first one I'll show you is a world map. It does use Apple Maps, so take that as you will, but it is a full map and you can add pins. So I see my pin list here, and I'm going to hit plus and I'm going to add a green pin, and let's just name it here. So I'm going to add a pin here, and we'll go drop it down around there.
Brendan, so our viewers can see this better, I'm going to ask you to switch to the satellite view.
So we have a satellite map. And satellite is great, other than now I no longer know where I am. So maybe I should have taken one of the geography classes. But we can see the hybrid map. All the maps available on iOS are here. So you can see I dropped the pin there, and I can drag it and move it over here around Oklahoma City. And I can even delete it by pressing the X. This will remember where you're zoomed in on the map and what pins you've got in between changing pages. So you can set up anything you'd like. Now, if you'd like this in a PDF or to print, then what you'll need to do is you'll need to export it as an image. We don't try to print actual dynamic maps. So we have you convert it to a picture, and now it's available. You can do whatever you want with it. Anything you can do with an image is available here. I can sit here, I can duplicate it, I can delete it, I can do anything I want. And it will stay that way. So I'm going to delete that, and we'll leave that here. Now, I'm going to turn the page, and I'm going to show you the new video one. So I'm going to insert a new video from a camera. It'll probably open up to the back camera, so all you see is black. So I'm going to turn around to the front. Hi. Okay, so you can see the camera that's shooting the iPad right now. So, the camera. So I can record, And so we can sit here and talk for a minute, and it will pick up whatever we want. And I can make like a little like turkey or something in a camera so that you can kind of have something to look at. So anyway, now that it's done, I'm going to stop it, and it'll let me crop it so I can trim it if I didn't want everything in the video. You can also do this with videos from your library, but I want the entire video, so I'm not going to trim it. And hit use, and it's going to copy it into my notebook. So you can see we've got it here along with the player controls. So I'm going to put it on the page, and now it becomes where I can play it, I can rewind it, I can fast forward it, I can do whatever I want. And so I'm going to rewind to the beginning, and I hit play. And you can see some of the moving video, and you'll probably see my little hand turkey here in a second. Yeah, my little bad attempt at hand turkey. And so you can do the same thing here, where you can pick a frame that you like, and you can hit snapshot, and now you can convert it to a snapshot that will appear in printouts and PDFs.
Now, I would just like to emphasize real quick before he moves on to the next widget that he's built, just get you thinking about what the uses for these would be. A lot of our users are students and teachers in classrooms, and so this really gives you the ability to build dynamic, interactive lessons right inside of a smart notebook, and then distribute them to your classes.
Yeah, and so a lot of teachers that we've spoken with wanted the ability to give an example on the page and include a video with it telling how to do it, or to have a problem on the page and then have a video solution on the next page to help you if you needed it. So we're really excited to be able to announce video. And let's go back in here, and I'm going to show you the web browser. We've changed this a little bit. You'll probably still see the similarities. All right, yeah, you can use the location. Okay, so I've got it here. I can make it a little bit bigger. You put it right here. And I've got the same abilities I had before. And I can do the same thing where I can move and resize it now. So I can just pick it up, do the same little drag thing. And then I'm going to get Google nice right here in the center, a nice little Google logo. And I'm going to snapshot it. That way I can include it in PDFs and other documents like we discussed before. But again, since it is an image, I can delete it or duplicate it as I wanted. But I'm going to go ahead and delete this. That's all for the new widgets. However, we are looking at a lot of new things that we can include now that we are able to do a lot of more advanced widget operations. As you can see, the new version of smartNote and the new app is much more capable of handling dynamic content and really stressing the iPad's abilities. And so we're really excited to be able to do some of the new things that everyone's been asking for, and we're really open to your feedback for new dynamic widgets that we haven't thought of.
And so, just to, before we jump out and we show you some of the new features outside of the notebook, I'm going to show you some interesting things that we've changed inside of here. You're going to see that the eraser menu, when you do erasing, and I apologize if this is somewhat hard to see, but it basically previews your erase area. Beforehand, you can see there's a little checkered pattern, and then when you pick up, it goes ahead and does the erasing.
Let's actually use a jumbo one. It's quite a bit bigger. So you can see right here as I paint this little screen, it's a checkered pattern. So you can see where you've erased. Like I wouldn't have noticed that I missed this little spot right here. And so when I let go, it'll delete wherever I had.
And so that was one of the big features that people have requested, is the ability to kind of see where they erased before they picked up. You see a lot of professional content editing programs do that. Well, now that's inside of smartNote. And then we're going to go over here. You have, of course, the ability to clear the widgets or clear the drawings on the page. That's now separate instead of just simply clearing the page. And I can delete the page. I'm going to tell it I want to delete the page, and you'll see it'll just fall off there, and the next page will come up.
I'm going to take a minute and say I'm really happy with my new animation. It's a lot fancier than a page curl, and I'm just proud of that one right there. So,
all right, some of the last things we're going to show you. I was, of course, going to open this up so that you could see that all of the sharing information is still there. But for all of you new users, it works with Evernote, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and, of course, all of your normal email, cut, copy, paste, photo album.
Now, one other thing you're going to notice is that the print thing is here now. And a lot of people are asking, how do you print documents? And I always had to explain a really convoluted method of trying to print a PDF that you'd export it and whatnot. Well, now we have something a little easier. Now, this will only print one page. There is another way to print an entire document, but you can print a single page right here really easy.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to go ahead and jump back out to the main notebook screen. And I'm going to ask Brennan to go grab another iPad real quick because it's going to be part of a very quickly upcoming demo. I'm going to move this one kind of over here out of the way. You know what? While he's grabbing that, I actually have one more thing to show you. The notes panel, or the annotations panel, is now visible in portrait, and when you're in landscape on the application, you can draw all the way across the iPad instead of being cut to one side like you were before.
Believe it or not, this is actually the most requested feature between those two that we've gotten in the entire application in the history of the 3 years it's been available. And we always had an option to hide it or to swap its sides, but we think we finally addressed it in a way that people would be happy. Now, we showed you that you can put in video and a lot of other dynamic content into new Smart Notebooks in smartNote 3. Well, videos are really big. In fact, they're so big you can't email them. It would take you an hour to upload a lot of videos to Dropbox. It's just a lot of content. And so
basically you could end up with a Smart Notebook if you've created a lesson plan that's really dynamic and interactive for your class that is extremely large, and you need a way to the teacher or in any other situation such as sending a file out at a board meeting or distributing something in your company network to just send the file to all of the iPads that would like it.
So what we've done is we've created Smart Exchange. I have an iPad mini right here, so you can kind of see what it looks like on an iPad mini. See if I can get that right there. So I'm going to open SmartNote, and you can see I have the same SmartNote as I do on the bigger iPad. I have no notebooks in this document, and I really need some notebooks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this iPad, and I'm going to turn on Smart Exchange. Now, turning on Smart Exchange allows your documents to be accessible to other people on your network. It's off by default, so that you can keep your documents secure. But if you need to share a document with someone, you can go and turn on Smart Exchange. So right here, we've got our new notebook on Chris's iPad. So I'm going to press down, and I'm going to hit Archive Notebook. And I'm going to say I want to back it up in SmartNote. It's going to archive my entire notebook. So now I have a single file of it. Smart Notebooks are actually folders, and so we have to create a one file of it version for you to transfer that includes all of your media, documents, PDFs, pages that you want to send. So now that we've had Smart Exchange on this iPad, it's discoverable by other iPads. So on my iPad mini, I'm going to open Smart Exchange. It automatically discovers the other iPads available on my network. I've got my regular size iPad sitting over on my desk, and Chris is sitting right here. So I'm going to go into Chris's. These are the things I can share. Now, we don't show your actual notebooks. So notebooks that are currently there on your device are not accessible. You do have to archive them. That is one method of security that we did leave. You do have to purposefully archive it to make it available. And so you can see my PDFs are available, my note packages, which are archives, and my audio if I have any. And so I'm going to open the new one that we had here. It's going to download it straight to my iPad, including the video if it was still there, but I did delete it. And now that it's there, I can go back and hit Done, and I've got my archive. I can import the archive into SmartNote. Now that it's done, I can go over and I can open my new notebook.
And I'm actually going to open it here, and I'm going to show you the page menu on both of these iPads. And you can see that, in fact, we did just transfer that notebook from one iPad to the other. So, quickly, I'm going to let Brendan show you some of the features, or walk you through some of the features of SmartNote Free. So I'm going to go ahead and close this iPad, but I'm going to leave this one open because in SmartNote Free, I, of course, don't have any documents. So I'm going to need to use the Smart Exchange to get a document from Brendan Lee's iPad mini. So I'm going to pull that document in. And then I'm going to jump out here, hit Done, and I'm going to grid view. All right, so there we go.
So I'm going to open our notebook. As you can see, it's the same. We've included pretty much all features, and you can see here the first time you open it, introduces the gestures to you, so you're not completely lost if you haven't watched this video. So we have all of our same features. There's nothing missing feature-wise from SmartNote Free. However, you will notice the following things. First of all, there are ads at the bottom. After you've used the application enough, there will be a full-page ad that appears before you open each notebook. Now, people hate full-page ads, and so do we. However, we think it's an even trade-off because we include every feature from SmartNote in SmartNote Free. And so, for us to be able to afford putting out SmartNote Free in addition to SmartNote, we do have to include some things like that. So other things you'll notice is we watermark PDFs that you export. So you can export your PDF for personal use and use it all you want. But for things that are professional or that you really want to send to people or submit as assignments, you kind of need to unwatermark it. And so that's something we put in there to help get people to SmartNote. So you also notice that the number of notebooks you can have is limited to 5. That's useful enough for most people. However, we don't want people necessarily using this as the full version of SmartNote. Right now, Chris is exporting a PDF.
I'm just going to, as you're talking, go through some of the other features we didn't cover so that they can just kind of have something to look at.
Okay. As you can see, you can export to other applications very easily now from within a notebook. So right here, like I said, you're limited to 5 notebooks. But let's go ahead and open the downloadable content section since that's new. We've redone the downloadable content section to be easier to navigate and to show you much more pictures. People like pictures.
Very quickly.
And it's much faster. Much better performance. So you can see your paper, and you can see it most popular or newest. We sort by most popular by default. And you can see widgets, which is new. We only have one widget in the store right now, but we'll hopefully have a couple of more before launch, and we'll let everyone else upload widgets just like we have the rest of the content. And you see our content packs.
And of course, as always, in smartNote Free, which we're in right now, if you're only allowed 1 install per week.
Right. So just like we did in the old application, we did limit you to 1 piece of content a week, and we think that that's fair for a free application.
All right, y'all. So this is the new version of smartNote. Did you have one more thing, Brendan?
No, that's it.
All right, so this is the new version of smartNote. We'd like to thank everybody for watching, and we look forward to everybody downloading it and giving it a shot.